Okay. Hey Dax, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, there you go. I tell you what, one of the problems were last night. You cannot wear a dark shirt, and you got to turn down your volume on your side so I don't hear myself back. Okay, so I'm getting better at this. I'm figuring out the right buttons to press. You know, this board has so many buttons. You're like, okay, which one is the right one today?
Hey, listen, you're a pioneer. Trust me, this is a whole new field, and you are taking it by storm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is like, okay, Diana, which button are you going to press to make it sound better today? But anyway, I have my consultant in Atlanta that I consult when I have big problems. There's someone in Jamaica, but he's not reliable. You email him and you don't hear from him for weeks. So sometimes I gotta sit here and try to figure it out, on my own. But anyway, before I get to all that wonderful show last night, because that's part of Big Wow Friday. Okay. Last night was really, really funny. I went to my bed laughing, okay? Which I thought was a great thing. So this morning, I am here and I see these little things, these little stickies drop out of my thing. So because I will something will come to my mind, or I'll see something and I'll just write it down and stick it somewhere. And I find it when God wants me to find it. Okay? So here we go. I have 3 of them here. The first one says, egotism is the anesthetic that dulls the pain of stupidity. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I got to read that this morning. And then here's another one. Forgiveness means giving up all hope of a better past. It's already gone, so you can't you can't get it back. And a lot of us don't even think we can. So let me read that one again. Forgiveness means giving up all hope of a better past. I know you got it, right? Did you get it? Yes. Okay.
I did.
All right. Not just you. I'm talking to everyone from around the world and in the United States. I know you get it. And here's another one. A positive attitude may not solve all your problems, but it will annoy enough people to make it worth the effort. So I was just cracking up before I clicked on my live thing here, because I thought to myself, this is so good. People with positive attitudes and, trying to tell people to love themselves, they think we're crazy. But if we annoy enough of them, it will be a good thing.
People tell me I live in a dream world. But that's all right. I love it. It's my world, and it works for me.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I loved about last night, because your world is, some people call it a dream world. I call my world the world of just living in the impossible every single day. Because when I reflect, everything that I've ever asked for or hoped for or wished for, whether it's a car, a house, a school for my daughter, I don't know what journey it's going to take to get me there. But my God, this morning I'm driving in my car, which I love, and I thought to myself, God, you're so good. Everything I've ever hoped and asked you for and have faith for, I never knew how I was going to get it, but it's here.
There you go.
And in some weird, tragic, devastating way, you never know how it's going to come, but my God, if you have enough faith, you're going to get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I was so, enamored with just God's blessings, because everybody will say, oh, you're doing the show, you're not getting paid, and, and I'm going, that's not the point. The point is, yes, you want to get paid eventually, but the point is, what is your intention of doing the show?
Absolutely.
My intention is to help if it's just one person a day, either win a soul for God's kingdom to let them know my story and how miracles happen in my life, or to get each and everyone to love themselves. If I can do that, oh my goodness, that's money in the bank for me.
You know, it's so funny. Yesterday, Vanya's away, so I'm covering her phone. And I get a text from a lady, and she said, oh, you know, my mom is on the program, and one of our coaches left. She was Spanish, and in the mix-up, we had a gap where we didn't cover everybody perfectly, right?
Oh, okay.
So she brought it to to Vanya's attention by text that her mom wasn't nobody was in touch with her. So we solved the issue within a couple of minutes.
Okay, great.
But then I just so how are you doing? And she said, you know, I'm doing so well. My family, everybody's asked me. I feel so good. Thank you so much for asking. And that made my week.
The little thing.
And that happens every single day, 3 or 4 times a day.
Exactly.
But trust me, it's more valuable than money to me.
Exactly. And you feel good that something that you're doing is helping someone else to feel better about themselves, to have a better life, to feel good about the fact that they're losing weight, and they're loving themselves at the same time. And that's the reason I told you that I think what we're trying to do, both of us, even though it's separate, it interlinks, because most of the times when people are overweight, you know, yes, and here we go now. I need to bring this to your attention because I was wowed by this. You remember Monique, that actress? She's on television. She was very big, like 300 pounds. And she used to say, oh, I'm fat, sexy, and oh, I love myself, and I'm going on. And okay, friend. She's now lost 80 pounds, and oh, how much she is in love with herself and how she feels so good. Why are we so hypocritical about what we feel? When I am pissed off, I'm pissed off, okay? I'm going to let you know that I am pissed about something and I need this straightened out, and you know, even by the tone of my voice, that I'm not feeling what you're saying.
Right.
Okay? But people just don't simply know how to just let it be themselves, because they fear that somebody's not going to like them.
Because they don't know who their self is.
Oh,
they're pretending to be somebody that people will like, and they're thinking, okay, even though they're up, Monica, for example, even though she have this abrasive, obnoxious, overbearing personality, all it was is an act.
Exactly, to cover the fact that she was unhappy with her weight.
Sure.
And that's the reason people don't understand why people love Oprah Winfrey so much. Because she will tell you, I love food.
Right.
That's the reason I'm fat. Okay? And yes, I fall off the wagon every day, all the time, but she's just honest and open about it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why people don't understand why you need to be honest with yourself and with others about who you are, and stop pretending. You know, I got up this morning and I thought about, I'm going to ask Dax if he ever thinks about what if. What if you did this differently? Or what if you didn't make that particular move with your career? Or what if you... And then I thought, no. What if is really not that crucial if you are just content and know that where you are is where God wants you to be right now? What are your thoughts on that? What if? Have you ever just thought about what if?
When I came to the realization that there is an infinite number of opportunities or options available to us in every moment. So I could answer this question a million different ways.
Right.
But based on my personality, based on my path, there's only one way for me to answer.
Okay, tell me one way.
and that's simply to say that what is. I live in the present moment. So I consider once in a while. So maybe every 2 months, I'll step back and I'll say, am I going in the direction that I'm wanting to go in? But as I get older, I'm more and more confident every day that the choices I'm making are the choices that God has already made for me, and I'm walking in his light and moving in the direction he intended for me. I am so confident in my relationship with my Creator that I believe that everything that should happen is happening. But once every day in prayer, in thanksgiving, I consider all possibilities. But then I move from that into the commitment of my intention of being well, of living well, of staying well, and just as it unfolds throughout the day, that's just life.
Okay. All right. I ponder that because everywhere I go and every time I talk to some people, they go, "Oh my God, when are you coming back to Jamaica to do the Diana Wright Show again?" And it's like, okay, are we thinking about the past or are we trying to go forward here? And do you consider what people are telling you or do you not consider what people are telling you? How do you process that? And it's every single time because I have my ex-boss in Jamaica. If I speak to him 10 times for the year, he will say to me, "When are you coming home? We need you here to produce a program because, what's on is crappy," or whatever you want to say. And I'm like, okay, aren't you tired of saying that? So my husband says to me, "Why don't you ask him what he has to offer you?"
You never know. I think for me, it's simple.
Yeah.
There's ideas that come in my head. And when I talk to people, my brain says, "Hey, that's a good idea." Every day people ask me about the mortgage business. When you're going back?
Okay, I was getting to that. Go ahead.
and there's the head, and then there's the heart. And when I listen to my heart is clear, it's full, it's thinner. There's no question about I'm in the right place, I'm doing the right thing. My mind, just this morning I'm looking at this thing about money exchange and about these small micro exchanges that allow people to trade money throughout the world.
Yes, so, that's a very good thing. It's helping a lot of people around the world.
Yeah, yes. and I've always been interested in micro lending and all of that, and I'm like, and then I go,
no. Too much stress.
It's not me.
Okay, you mentioned the mortgage business because I think the reason people keep asking us those things is because you, in my opinion, was the best at it. And to a lot of people, I think something just turned up there, Dax. Can you turn down something? Yeah, because I'm hearing myself back. And for a lot of people, what I did with the Diana Wright Show in Jamaica is something they've never seen. And it was so successful beyond my wildest dreams that people are just saying, okay, we want to have that back.
And I think that what's beautiful is that we can have both. I feel that something like this, what we're doing here gives me the opportunity that if somebody wanted to, I'll give you a 5-minute, synopsis of the real estate market right now.
Okay.
You mind?
Yes, go ahead. I want to hear it.
Okay. Real estate today is at the bottom of a 30-year cycle. And what we're going to see over the next 30 years is that for the next 3 to 5 years to come, there's still going to be a lot of negatives and a lot of changes. And as much as the media and the industry tries to put a positive spin on it, real estate is going to be floundering for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, agreed.
At the end of that period, you're going to get into the period where it's just stagnant. And the only people that will buy houses are first-time buyers who get into the market, and retired people who are old, dying off, those houses come onto the market. And you'll see another 8 to 10 years of it just being pretty much slow, 3 to 4, 5% growth a year, nothing significant.
Wow.
And so those two periods added together is going to put you to about 12 to 15 years from now. And then at 12 to 15 years from now, you're going to see at the start of a boom. The boom is going to have another, you're going to see 8 to 10% for the first 5 years. then you're going to see another, amazing run where you see houses appreciating, 15, 20% in a year, and then we're going to have another collapse.
Wow.
The problem is we cannot, most of us will be out of the market by that 30-year time, so we won't remember it.
Okay.
And we'll be so irrelevant in terms of the actual, active environment that it becomes, we almost forget. It's an amnesia. We see it, it's a cycle that happens over and over, and our brain doesn't allow us to remember it. But the point I'm making is, for people who are thinking, I need to buy a house right now, don't fool yourself. There's nothing to rush into. If you want to get into the industry because you want to work in the real estate industry, to buy houses, fix them up, there are opportunities there. If you need a house because you're renting now and you just want to buy a house because you can afford it and there are certain financial benefits, go ahead and buy.
Right.
But if you're buying it purely for the idea of investment or thinking if you don't buy now you won't be able to afford to the future, you're wrong. Stay out of the market.
All right, you heard it from the expert, because he's really good at this mortgage thing when he did it. So I didn't know you were so on top of it still, Dax.
It's 25 years of my life, and I was so heartbroken by it, but at the same time, I need to use what I've learned. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not getting back into it the way I was, but I love to do is advise and consult, and just like what I shared a while ago, I hope it's useful to people.
Amen. All right. Okay. I think you're going to, well, as you mentioned amnesia just now, I thought about the biggest story for me for this week is that the Republicans have amnesia about all the things that they did prior to all of this. The Benghazi thing, they're the ones who blocked the money to support the diplomats around the world. They blocked it, then they cry when something happened. In terms of the AP story, which is, the fact that the Justice Department went and, got some phone records from journalists and blah, blah, blah. Yes, they did it. But remember, George W. Bush, he did a whole lot of that, from Bill Maher to anchors around the country got fired because they were against the war. I mean, it was so... There was a time when Republicans were saying, bring in those journalists, let me have them up here on Capitol Hill and we will roll their heads. And hello, are these the same people speaking now? Or is it another generation that I don't know? And, I just find this so incredulous. Seriously.
Well, there's amnesia and then there's spinning.
Okay, well, this is amnesia. Okay, no spinning here.
It's spinning. They intentionally ignore their wrongs and overly highlight or dramatize other people's mistakes, So it's all drama.
Yes, it's all drama. And I'm so proud of my Attorney General, Eric Holder, for whipping Darrell Issa and that other senator who was trying to belittle him, and he just told them off. I was like so proud. I was like in my den going, yeah! Good for you. I mean, because these guys, they're there. They're not about the people's business. They're about trying to get Obama at any cost.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, I've never seen such hate in my entire life on this planet. Like what I'm seeing now. And I know that there's something called divine intervention, and they will regret this moment. They will.
But you see, Diana, that's the same thing I'm telling you about, that this country, Abraham Lincoln was shot by his political opponents.
Yes.
and so this is this is not unusual. The passion and the hate and the anger that people use, fortunately some of the good passion has driven this country to be as successful as it's been. But at the same time, we must remember that there's always that ugly negative side that's there.
But boy, it's been rearing its ugly head for the past, 4.5 years? It's horrible. And
you're just more sensitive because you like Barack Obama.
No, I'm not more sensitive. I'm only sensitive because I know that the reason they're doing this, yes, they kind of stick it to Bill Clinton and they're trying to stick it to Hillary. But I believe the reason they pursue Barack Obama, and I will say President Barack Hussein Obama, is because Hussein is in there. He's black, even though he has a white mother. They keep forgetting that. And Eric Holder, by any chance, is married to a white woman. Okay, so we can just go down the line as the reasons. It's jealousy, it's envy, and it's just bitterness. I just think that's not the way to run anything in anyone's life. You know, it's just like, okay, if a friend does me something, I'm going to go out of my way to make sure they are destroyed. Hell no. I'm forgetting that friend and move on.
You know, it's funny because when George Bush had done his first term, the World Trade Center had been bombed. There was a lot of stuff that, you know, people were saying, and I thought there was a whole movie that came out about, you know, the conspiracy and everything. And in my mind, there's no way somebody could, you know, vote for him again. And the point I'm making is that every president gets attacked by their opponents. And you know, unfortunately, it's a waste of energy. And I agree. I am in no way supporting it or encouraging it. I believe that we as the citizens, we as the voters should really think through who we want in office and realize we do have a voice, we do have a choice, and we can actually, you know, make it heard and identify good, honorable people who are about producing results rather than contention and drama.
Contention and drama. Okay, I think you're going to like this story because Pope Francis has called on world leaders to end the cult of money and to do more for the poor in his first major speech on the financial crisis. He says free market economies had created a tyranny in which people were valued only by their ability to consume. That's what the pontiff said, and he told this to the diplomats at the Vatican. Money, he said, has to serve, not to rule, urging ethical financial reforms. When I read this, I thought, okay, Pope Francis, you're stepping into some serious ground here, but it's a good thing that you are.
You know, I have a book that I actually wrote, and the name of the book it's right here. Hold on. You
actually wrote a book and you didn't publish it, Dax?
Huh?
You wrote a book and you didn't publish it?
This is the book.
Okay.
It's a booklet.
Okay, booklet. What? It doesn't matter because booklets sometimes are good, have great information, and it's easy for people to read, so they just easily read it. So, and that's one of the reasons I didn't want my book is like 200 and something pages, and I didn't want it too big because I didn't want people to figure, oh, this is too much to read. Yeah. So, by the way, it's ready, and I'm going to be picking up my copy on Saturday. The publisher, Nina, already has her copy. So I'm going to just be looking at it to make sure everything is good, and then it will be available on Amazon and on my website and on Nina's website. So I'll let you know. Yeah, so we're actually there.
Love it.
Okay, so tell me the name of that booklet.
Huh?
What's the name of the booklet?
It's GOLD.
Gold?
Yeah, the Game of Life Development.
Okay.
And the whole premise of it is that we have allowed money to cloud our judgment, to block us from our life. And instead of seeing money as the tool to create life, instead we see it as the value in life. So we say, if I had the money, I could do all these things I want to do. When in fact, there's nothing that's stopping you from doing all the things you want to do. What do you want to do? You want to love your family. You want to take care of yourself. You want to help people.
Right.
All of those things you can do right now. You don't need to get any money to help people, to pick up the phone to call somebody, to offer your assistance. You know, people may say, I need money. But it's not money that they need. They need help. They may need a ride. They may need some advice. They may need some support, some encouragement. But if we really realize that we have more power than we recognize, then we can use that power to create money in our lives.
Amen to that. And he said this, he said, in a biblical reference, the pontiff said, the worship of the golden calf of old had found a new and heartless image in the current cult of money. Strong words. Strong, serious words. I mean, he added that reforms were urgently needed as poverty was becoming more and more evident. Because it seems the richer these nations become, the wealth just seems to sit at that 1% or less than 1%. So the people beneath are just constantly, I guess, struggling and, you know, being hungry and all that other stuff.
Well,
go ahead.
But it's important to realize that it's not the rich people that created the system, but they don't support the system. It's the poor people who continue to believe that the bank is going to help them, that the job is going to help them, that the government is going to help them, that somebody other than themselves can help them. When you simply say, I am God's child, and I'm here with His favor, with a purpose, and I'm going to live that purpose, then everything starts working for you.
Amen. And you might want to know, since you're going to Iceland, that violent crimes in Iceland is almost non-existent, despite the fact that lots of Icelanders have guns. While Norway, Sweden, and Denmark appears to be plagued with crime by comparison. Iceland's homicide rate between 1999 and 2009 never went above 1.8 per 100,000 population.
Wow.
Wow. In any given year. The UN study, the 2011, this is a study done by the UN on global homicide. And of course, you know, the US is right up there. The US had homicide rates between 5.0 and 5.8 per 100,000 population during the same period of time. No difference among classes in Iceland. That's what they say. Everybody, as a matter of fact, 97% of the people in Iceland consider themselves to be upper middle class. Can you imagine that? That's incredible. And everybody kind of lives, and there's no economic strife between people and classes over there. Everyone just behaves like everyone is equal.
So maybe
That's
I can
amazing.
Skype in from there.
Huh?
Maybe I can Skype in from there.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, because I thought to myself, wow, Dax is going there, and this is such interesting things. I know it's cold like crazy, and the guy who wrote this is a student who is doing his thesis for his PhD, and he was going to do something else, and then he thought, okay, he's going to, you know, trek around the world for a little bit, and boom, he went to Iceland. He's from Boston, and he thought, oh my goodness, it's so cold over here in comparison to Boston. But what he found was so intriguing and so interesting. So people, you know, just kind of equalize. Whether you're upper class, lower class, everybody's everybody in Iceland. So you got to tell us about it when you get there.
I will.
Okay, alrighty. This is one of your, up your street, I guess. Some gas stations and convenience stores are still trying to stick it to the merchants. Illegally, they're charging fees for debit card users, as well as putting minimum purchase amounts on customers who use the bank cards. This is a new report. You know, I hate those little card things. Cash for me is just king, because first of all, I don't like to stand up at an ATM machine and looking over my shoulder. That's the first thing. I truly hate that. And every time the first time I used the ATM machine, I felt like, ooh, someone is watching me to see what I'm doing, you know. Then later on, a couple of years later, you hear, yes, people are actually putting up some things there to capture your number and your PIN. And oh my God, this is so tiring. So here we go. So this is what's going on with, so folks, when you go, people go into the convenience store and they're charging $10. Why don't you have $10 in your pocket and just use $10 cash? Here you go, you're exposing yourself to all these fees and not even knowing that you're being charged, because you know that, as a matter of fact, in California, 10 states, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Kansas, Maine, Massachusetts, New York, Oklahoma, and Texas actually prohibited surcharges for credit card users, but they forgot about the debit card. So, you know, I don't know. There you go. So I'm just kind of cautioning folks, when you're using those debit cards, be aware you won't know your charge until you get it on your bill. Okay, Dax. I forgot my water in the refrigerator, so I'm going to go get it. And let you speak about the butcher in Seattle who is putting marijuana in his feed for his pigs. He says the meat is going to be better. I'm going to go get my water while you speak on that.
Well, I don't know if you want me to speak on that, but I will. So, you know, I didn't hear about the story until Diane just mentioned it. And for me personally, marijuana is not a drug, it's a plant. And it has certain medicinal qualities and, you know, is beneficial to mankind. And I would say if it's being put in feed, then I don't see, you know, necessarily being bad. The problem I have is who is he feeding it to? And while pigs are important, I don't see pigs as a way to get that wouldn't be the way in which I would expect to use marijuana.
Okay, he said, but did you know that there is actually, they have marijuana brownies?
Oh, yeah.
Marijuana cookies, marijuana muffins, and butter.
Sure, they're energy bars and sodas. They're actually drinks that are marijuana-based sodas.
Really? I know. Well, you know, in Seattle they had passed the that amendment about marijuana, so I guess people just figure, you know, is illegal now, so I can just put it in my feed for for my pigs. The man says that the pig meat actually tastes better once they're fed with the marijuana.
You know, I'll stay with the brownie and the cookie.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Dax is following the Bible in Leviticus. No swine in your diet.
No.
All right. So I thought that was a funny story that he's actually doing that, you know, and he's, you know, there's a picture online and he has the pig held up in his hand. It was quite amusing. Anyway,
good promotion. I mean, if I was a pig eater, maybe I would try that pig before I try other pigs. So
yeah, because you know it might be true. Anyway, the National Transportation Safety Board voted to recommend to states that they lower the blood alcohol content that constitutes drunk driving. Now they're saying that they want to lower it from what is the number here? To 0.5 from 0.8, and folks are kind of up in arms about that, and I'm trying to figure out why. Of course, you know, the people who are fighting about this are the people who own restaurants that sell alcohol and that kind of thing. They're saying that that's going to kill their business. What do you think?
Well, you know, you and I are in a very different position because you're not a drinker.
Yeah, I'm a non-alcoholic person, but my husband drinks wine. He does.
And
but when he drinks wine, I say, I'll take the keys. I'll drive.
Great. And that's wonderful because in your relationship, you can drive, he can drink. In my relationship, I can drive, she can drink.
Okay.
The problem is when both people want to drink and the person is not drunk. You had 2 glasses of wine, you're still quite coherent, you're still capable of driving home safely, but you get pulled over and then somebody tests you. So drunk driving is a horrible, terrible thing. We need to get rid of it. But saying to somebody you cannot drink anything at all, but then where do you draw the line? Because how do you know who is capable and who is not? Somebody, one drink could cause them to be incapable of operating the vehicle properly, and somebody else could have 10 drinks and still get home safely every night,
Okay, so well, this is what is being said. Some of the beverage people are saying this recommendation is ludicrous, but moving from 0.08 to 0.05 would criminalize perfectly responsible behavior, which is what you just alluded to. Further restrictions, restricting the moderate consumption of alcohol by responsible adults prior to driving does nothing to stop hardcore drunk drivers from getting behind the wheel. Okay, the United States, Canada, and Iraq. Can you imagine Iraq is being mentioned with the United States and Canada in something? When I saw that, I was like, Iraq, I had to read it like twice. Okay, are among a small handful of countries that have set the BAC level at 0.8. Most countries in Europe, including Russia, which drinks vodka like it's water, most of South America and Australia have set BAC levels at 0.05 to constitute drunken driving. When Australia dropped its BAC level from 0.8 to 0.5, provinces reported a 5 to 18% drop in traffic fatalities. Okay, the NTSB reports that at 0.05 BAC, some drivers begin having difficulties. I'll be one of those drivers. If I go and drink a glass of wine or some Baileys, trust me, I'll be drunk. Because my body is not accustomed to alcohol. So I can kind of get, both sides of the story. So that's what they're saying. Some drivers begin having difficulties with depth perception and other visual functions. So at 0.07, cognitive abilities become impaired. At 0.05 BAC, the risk of having an accident increases by 39%. At 0.08 BAC, the risk of having an accident increases by more than 100%. So I think this is a good thing. People are going to say, oh, Diana, you're saying that because you don't like alcohol. But excuse me, I grew up, my mother owned a bar, okay, in Jamaica. So I know about alcohol from a very little. So nobody come challenge me about that alcohol thing. I see how when people drink, they're dressed in their suits and they're talking a whole lot of crap. And I'm going, is that the business executive? Sounding like that? As a kid, you're going, ooh, I don't want to do that. So hence, I don't drink because I've just seen sensible, great people, when they have some marijuana or they drink some alcohol, they just talk a whole lot of shit. Excuse my language. And I'm going, when they are sober, you go, oh, did you know you said that? They go, no. And I'm like, that's why you should not drink and until you know you can, as they will say, handle your liquor. So I'm serious about that. I mean, I've really seen people drunken, stupid, do things that are crazy, and when they are awake, they absolutely have no memory of what they did or what they said. So stop. Anyway, the NTSB is just an organization, so they really can't get this done. They can only suggest it, so we'll see what happens. Okay. All right. Here's one that I thought was quite ridiculous. Lovers of luxury vehicles, like myself, I love luxury vehicles. I really do, because I do a lot of driving, so I don't like to be sitting on hard seats and that kind of thing. Avert your eyes. In a case of... Okay, let's see who this is. I hope they're not going to take me on now. Hello, good morning. You're on the air. Hello?
I'm not taking you on.
Oh, you're not going to take me on. Okay, because, I figured someone's going to take me on with this alcohol thing right away.
No, actually, I'm the opposite of that. Just the opposite. Good morning, Doc.
Morning, how are you?
It's so nice to see you had some faith in the studio, Mr. Doc.
Oh, you mean I left Dax by himself? She noticed that I abandoned you, Dax.
Oh,
No, but I had to go get my water, though. I had to, and I forgot it because I put it in the refrigerator to get a little colder, and then I forgot it. So
I want the hair back on the head, though, Doc.
she wants your hair back. Well, I'm sorry, you can't get the hair back, Dax.
you know, it's funny.
Either the hair or the hat. One of the two.
No, I like him bald. I truly do. I prefer the baldness to the hat. I guess everybody's different. See, you see how people are different? She likes the hat. I like the hat, but I like the bald also. So that's interesting.
We'll hook her up next time.
Oh, he's going to hook you up next time.
Anyway, what my take on that is, I think, so it must be established that this is my opinion and my opinion only,
Right.
that people who drink and behave badly, they have a preconceived information set up in that brain.
Ah.
And when they take the alcohol, it manifests itself. They are no lunatics. They're not idiots. They know what they're doing, and they just let it out when the alcohol takes over. And then after the alcohol is gone, then they pretend, oh, did I do that? No. Don't tell me you didn't know. You knew. And
Wow.
from my studies and my experience, I can prove that that is what it is.
Wow.
Preconceived, it's there. They're not going to let it out. They run and they go get the drink. And then they come and they let it out.
Wow.
And that's what it is.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. Now that you're saying it, I'm agreeing with that because how do you not know what you said and what you did last night? Yeah, so I guess it's something that they really want to do, but they use the alcohol to camouflage the fact that they're saying what they're saying or doing what they're doing. Wow.
Cover up.
It's a cover up.
And they know. Especially if they have a beef, as we would say in Jamaica, with somebody. They go do their thing, come back, then they go take the beef out.
Okay. Wow.
I think you're right.
Okay, Doc, next time I see you, I want to see that hat, okay? Since the hair is going to be hard.
So, yes, so he's going to be back on Wednesday, which is Wellness Wednesday. So, Dax, you have to please her. You got to wear your hat on Wednesday. I'm sorry.
No
I was planning to wear a hat this morning, and then I said, okay, I'm going to wear a hat this morning and just trick Dax. But then he came out with his baldness, so I guess, it's a good thing I didn't wear my hat. Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna put on a show. I'm gonna do a show, and I'm gonna invite everybody to wear hat, male and female. We're gonna have the best hat.
Okay, the best hat contest?
So we're gonna have a king and a queen hat contest.
Okay, all right. I love hats, so I'm there.
Get your hat together now, Doc. Get the fancy hat, and you're gonna get it, Diana.
No problem.
All right.
No problem.
Okay, great call. Thank you so much.
I look forward to it.
All right. Yes, well, I love hats, Dax. So I took up the hat this morning and I said, okay, I wonder if Dax is going to wear a hat today. And then I put the hat back down and I said, no, maybe he's not. So I was right. My spirit just guided me right today because I was going to challenge you with the hat thing today, I said, yeah, I'm going to put on a hat and show Dax that I wear hats really well.
Wednesday we do hat.
Okay, so Wednesday we'll wear hats for you right here on the Diana Wright Show live. Okay, with Dax done. My husband says every time Dax and I are on, the show is so funny. So we got to keep it going. We got to come up with new ideas. So the hat is a new idea. All right, okay.
Right.
So I'm telling you about this guy now. So he owns a Maserati. And he took a sledgehammer because he was so annoyed at the auto show in China. Reportedly, this was to express his anger at a local dealer repairing his $423,000 car with second-hand parts instead of the new parts that he paid for. So he went to the auto show, parked his car in front of the auto show, got a sledgehammer, and beat the car to death. And I thought to myself, are people losing their minds? A Maserati costs $423,000, and you are that mad that you're going to crucify the car?
Well, the first question is why does a Maserati cost $400,000?
Amen. I agree.
So it's a game. It's a game, and everything is relative. That guy who's driving that car, he can afford it.
Yes.
And we all can afford to do what we need to do, whatever is important to us. Mother Teresa.
Yes.
Had no money, and she changed the world.
Yes.
Gandhi, Martin Luther King. I mean, we can go on and on and on. Diana Wright.
Try to change the world too.
Absolutely.
To love themselves. But you want to hear this though? The new parts for the car. You want to guess how much it really was? $390.
$90.
$390. And he ruined the whole car for that?
As I said, it's relative. A, we're talking about it today. B, he can afford it. He has another agenda. Something else is going on. Maserati is gonna probably give him a car, and
something like that. Okay, so you think it's a stunt then? Because in 2011, it happened in 2011. Another disgruntled man smashed up his Lamborghini to protest the lack of attention the company was paying to his customers in China. So I guess when you want to ruin your car, just go to the China Auto Show and do your thing. Okay, this is something health-wise that a lot of people are saying it's too drastic. She should not have done it. I'm talking about Angelina Jolie, who took her both breasts off she did it on April 27th, but we just found out about it this week as she did the op-ed in the New York Times. Lots of people have lots of comments. And I just wondered, is anyone thinking that it's her body? She's the one who saw her mother suffer with breast cancer. She's the one who got the 87% chance from the doctor of getting breast cancer and the 50% chance of getting ovarian cancer. Shouldn't it be her choice instead of... I don't even think she should have told anybody. What are your thoughts?
Well, I believe that our medical community does not always have all the information. And to say that you have an 80% chance, I believe that those statistics are wrong if the person makes choices in terms of lifestyle changes and takes the necessary preventative actions before something as drastic as a double mastectomy. They can avoid breast cancer. I believe that. So
okay, and she's also going to take out her ovaries because of the 50-50 chance, and that I thought, now, oh my God, this is really drastic, because how does she really know she's going to have it? You can have a 50-50 chance of having something and you never get it.
Listen, we all have 100% chance that we're going to die.
Amen.
Right? And the question is, am I going to start cutting off parts of my body to get 5, 10, 15 years extra? No. Am I going to make choices every single moment of every day to avoid the necessary, aches and pains and illness and disease? Yes. And I'm saying she has so many more options. And why it's important to me is that she's an example and she has a lot of influence. And unfortunately, there are millions of people who are going to be influenced to go out and follow that type of action, and to their further detriment.
Yeah. Okay, and it's interesting that you said that, because that's part of the controversy. People who look up to her, once they go to the doctor and they find out this is a gene. It's called the BRCA1 gene. If you have that, you have a higher chance of getting breast cancer. But as you said, when I watch certain shows that talk about food and diet and how diet can cure things, they always say diet cannot cure cancer, but you can have your diet try to prevent it from happening. Yeah? Which is what you were saying just now.
Sure. And I actually believe that diet can cure cancer. That's my personal opinion.
Okay. All right. So you see, and also this week on, I think it was NBC News or ABC News, one of those, there was actually a doctor who came on. They found a drug called Evotal or something like that, and it actually cured lung cancer, skin cancer, and someone else with some other kind of cancer, like in weeks. So here, when I saw that, but it came like a day after or the same day she made her announcement, I thought to myself, did she really dig deep enough before she made such a drastic decision? It's her body, I accept that. She's the one who saw the suffering with her mom, but her mom is years ago. We're now years forward.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Diana. We talk about years ago as if, you know, years ago was a dark. Years ago, the Egyptians were building temples that we don't understand how they do it.
True.
Years ago, China and India were, you know, building castles and palaces, and people were living longer and a higher quality of life. So when I saw Chris Christie go ahead and do the lap band surgery and is getting less results and paying 100 times more in terms of the cost for weight loss, it reinforced in my mind that the medical community has a strong hold. The pharmaceutical industry is totally in control of information and advice, and unfortunately they are calling the shots, and we need to educate ourselves. We need to ask questions, and we need to realize that we do have alternatives rather than believing that, you know, cancer and diabetes and all of these things are so, you know, you don't have any choice.
Yeah.
You have a choice. Yeah. You can do better. And it don't cost millions of dollars. It don't cost drugs. It simply is about understanding your body, loving yourself, spending the time to support your own health, and understanding what your body needs.
Exactly, because, you know, one of the things with me and doctors is when I go to a doctor, they always believe that, because I say, look, I don't like to take medication, okay, because I do believe that there's always another option for me. So why don't you tell me some of the other options? I'll go research it myself, but give me some guidance. They always just want to push medication down your throat for everything. I mean, you have a headache in this country and people running for the bottle to take a pill. All you need to do, people, sit down, as Dax would say, breathe, put in some classical music, put some headphones in your ears, not headphones, but earphones, and just relax. The headache amazingly goes away. I'm telling you, I've proven it. So why is it that people believe that if they have, you know, they have a little pain, you're going to take a pill for the pain? Can you just kind of give your body a chance to get rid of the pain? Why are we so obsessed with medicine? When you listen to some of these commercials for medicines on television, and they list the long list of side effects, I'm going, okay, and you really think that I should be taking that?
There's a medicine that's there for allergies.
Yes.
But if you take the medicine for allergies, you'll get liver failure.
I mean, I'm like, so why am I doing that? Shouldn't I just live through the allergy thing and let the time pass?
The allergy is because your body needs to clean itself, and it has a buildup of toxins, so there's an oversupply. And I know that I sound like a broken record, that a detox can cure everything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the body must clean itself on a regular basis. So I'm not talking about selling anything. I'm talking about paying attention to your body. When you breathe deeply, you're cleansing your body. When you drink your water, you're cleansing your body. When you go to the bathroom regular, you're cleansing your body. When you eat natural food, you're cleansing your body. When you fast for one day, you're cleansing your body. So those are all things you can do totally on your own. This is not about me being on a constant sales pitch.
Right.
This is about just saying, hey, hold on. I learned something. I want to share it with you. It don't cost you anything but time and energy to say, hold on, how am I feeling today? Do I need to slow down with the eating? Do I need to get a little bit more rest? Am I getting enough sleep? Did I drink enough water? And then you'll see a lot of things in your life start to change.
Yeah, and I'm here to tell you that, sometimes, you'd feel like, for me, I would feel pain in my joint, my thumb. And since I've detoxed my body, it's all gone. It's totally gone. You lose a little weight and you are surprised at what happens with your body. Because what it does, when you lose weight, it motivates you to exercise. Well, that's for me anyway. I don't know about anybody else. But I'm hoping that each and every one of you will have the same vibe. When you lose weight, you'd want to exercise to keep your body firm and keep yourself strong. So yes, sometimes some things are in your body that when you do a detox, as if Dax is saying, you do see the results. And I'm sure there are several people out there that could say, yes, she's speaking the truth. It's not about selling something. It's about selling a lifestyle that we hope will help you and make you better. So you don't have to take pill for diabetes, pill for high blood pressure, pill for this, pill for that. And then each pill you take, you have to then go deal with the side effects of those pills. Cycle of crazy. All right. Here's a good one as we're speaking about diet. Does it get better and better with this food thing? Rat meat being passed off as lamb in China. Did you hear that story? Okay. Let me just read a little more. Hundreds of people were arrested after passing off rat meat as lamb in China. Restaurants in southern China says that the rat that they are preparing in the restaurant is not from the swamps. It's from the countryside. What difference does it make? I don't want to eat no rat. And someone was actually telling me this week that I ate rat in Jamaica. No, I did not. You don't remember what you ate as a child. Absolutely. I remember everything from I have a memory. Okay? So don't tell me I ate any rat. I did not. So, okay, Dax, did you eat any rat? I plan to ask you that.
No.
I did not eat any rat. Someone was really challenging me this week because when I saw the story, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So people in China are eating more than ever before, but quietly, and they're eating less quality foods. So guess what is happening in China now? People are getting fatter and fatter. And then when I saw it, I saw, those US, franchises that goes there. So the people get hooked on those burgers and those things. And hence they're getting fatter and fatter in China. So even though they're eating the rat, I don't know how it's helping them. So rat passed off as lamb. And remember the recent story a couple weeks ago? Horse meat being passed off as beef.
For me, because I am committed to a plant-based life, I think it's very unlikely that somebody would ever be able to pass off, a carrot as an apple.
As an apple for you, right? Oh my God, yeah, they're really different.
No, we know there's the GMOs and the genetically modified food, so I guess there's always a concern, but to be safe from the false meat, I would say eat more plant-based fruits and vegetables.
And my goodness, I see Oprah Winfrey showing off her farm in Hawaii this week, and she's growing everything and eating everything, and I noticed that she's losing some weight. So she and Bob Green, that guy that made her lose all that weight the first time, they have come up with a program to have this extensive farm, and they're going to now try to sell the products. So I thought everyone is getting in on this food chain thing. Okay, Dax, here's a good one. Did you know that in many Western countries, graveyards are seen as sinister or even frightening? You know that, right?
Yeah.
But in the former Soviet Republic of Georgia, along with other Eastern Orthodox countries, it is common for Georgians to honor their dead relatives by taking food and wine to the cemetery and celebrate. Did you know that?
In China, in India, in Japan, similar things are done.
Wow.
Yes.
And they're saying having feasts beside the grave makes their loved ones know that they truly care for them. And this is practiced all year round, but in Orthodox Easter time, it is one of the biggest times for the tradition. And, yeah, you were going to say something?
No, I was saying that one of the things is that you honor the dead. And that your ancestry, gives you, it's time to reflect. You sit down, you think about that person, the good things that they represent, and you learn from them, and you try and inculcate and represent those things in your own life.
But having a feast in the cemetery?
Well, I mean,
that's a little strange, Dax, don't you think?
As I say, if you take it from the position of the spirit being there rather than the dead body, so it's not the dead body that you're trying to connect to, it's the spirit of the person and its proximity to the body.
Okay, well, for people like my grandmother who's buried on their own property, and you go once in a while and celebrate that, and you have some food in the house and you're not at the cemetery, I say yeah to that, but I can't imagine myself in a cemetery with all them graves around me having a feast, okay? Call me crazy. Anyway, okay, did you know that in Mumbai you can get... Okay, you know that in Mumbai right now, everybody's an entrepreneur, right? I'm sure you know that. So, did you know that while you're getting your shoes cleaned or repaired, you can get your ears cleaned too? There's an entrepreneur in Mumbai that's cleaning ears.
Sure.
Oh my God, when I saw that, I just laughed. I laughed my head off.
Is that the cone? They stick the cone in the ear and light it and it pulls the wax out?
I don't know what they do, but they showed this guy cleaning out your ears with some things, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I was like cracking up. I was like, I can't wait for Friday to tell Dax about this.
It's so funny because I do reflexology on my foot, and there's no training. I bought a book and I have an app that I download.
Same here. I have the book. Be careful of those apps that you download. Do you know that they're capturing your information from the apps now? That was on the news last night. Okay.
It was a free app, so no credit card, nothing.
Oh, okay.
So I sit down with my foot, and after I take my shower, I sit down and I massage the bottom of my foot from the top to the bottom.
Right.
About 3 days ago, I recognized right in the center a sharp pain.
Whoa.
And I ignored it, and I said, well, maybe I step on something, And then the next day it was there again, and I said, you know what, let me check the book. And I look, and that spot on the foot is your small intestines. And what had happened is that Vanya was going away, and I, subconsciously I was just, kind of going to miss her, and we had gone out a few times, and I'd overeaten. I'd been eating a lot.
Okay.
More than I would normally eat.
Right.
And I didn't feel sick. I know I was eating a lot, but I no problems. But the pain in my foot
is an indication. It's an indication that something is not right.
And I immediately said, okay, let me stop, let me make some changes. And I'm telling you, it's amazing how within 3 days of paying attention to it, my whole body has shifted, the pain is subsiding, and I'm averting a serious problem. And this is a process that we want to help people to realize. It's about paying attention to yourself. Your body is giving you signals. You just need to pay attention to it.
Yeah, and we truly need to know our bodies, because a lot of us don't. We don't know our bodies, so we are not paying attention to the changes and what's going on. And that reflexology thing is really good. I myself, when my daughter was sick, I bought a book about it, and it is really, really good. Yeah, she gets a little impatient when I try to do it, or when I used to try to do to it, but because you kind of have to, I think when you do these things, you kind of have to have faith that it's going to work as opposed to being negative about it. So anyway, this one is
Belief kills and
believe cures. There you go. This one is not so much of a good story, but it's signs for parents that they need to recognize that their children are being bullied at school. Complaints about headaches and stomach aches. Unexplainable injuries from the others or yourself. Changes in attitude, behavior, and achievement at school. I was just speaking to a parent about that this week, who said her daughter was like an A student, and all of a sudden now her mom and dad getting a divorce and her grades are to the bottom. Lost or damaged property. Changes with friends and social circles. Changes in sleeping or eating habits. Reluctance, avoidance, inability to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. Everything is fine. Okay, expressing no interest in anything. Intense feelings of hopelessness, shame, and depression. Tendency to solve problems with conflict and violence. Lack of empathy towards students who are bullied. Sexual harassment or homophobic leaning. Problems at school, fights, detention, trouble. And the last one is overly competitive and worried about reputation or popularity. Long list, but parents need to pay attention. I think a lot of parents don't pay attention. Like the person I was talking to this week, they were taking away the child's phone, and because they think that she's not performing. And I say, have you thought about the fact that they might be depressed because dad is no longer there? Because what some people don't understand is that even though a dad might not be hands-on, especially with their daughters, when they leave, it truly affects them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And likewise sons.
Sons, yes. I was going to get to the sons, but daughters especially, they're connected to their dad. Oh, they are devastated. Even though they know that he was doing bad things to mom and beating her up or taking drugs or whatever, that's still my dad.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you were going to say something about sons.
No, sons have a connection to their mom and their dad, and daughters have a connection to their dad and their mom. And we one of the challenges I see is that we have a tendency, the single moms raising these sons, and there's no man, and they think, oh, I can do it all, I don't need a man.
They do. They lie.
Big mistake.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a very long time. Mothers, you cannot be fathers. You don't have a penis. Okay, you have a vagina and you don't have a penis. You cannot be a man. I'm serious. I've been saying this from all of my years on radio and television, and mothers just don't seem to get it.
Yeah.
They're just not getting it.
Yeah. I think that's something we want to do. We want to help. It don't have to be the dad. It just means a man who is a real man, who can be honest, who can be loving, who can really give the love, the support, and the guidance. And obviously, unfortunately, you have to be careful of the abuse.
Yes,
But if you pay attention, the number one thing is you have to pay attention. You have to slow down and really understand what is important in your life. This morning I wake up, I use the bathroom, I'm sitting here, I take a walk to Publix, I buy my groceries to juice my juice, and the lady said to me, "You're off today?" Because I look so relaxed.
Yeah. You're off today. You look so leisurely, huh?
Yeah, but guess what? I'm off every day.
Oh my God!
I go to the race. Yeah. There's nowhere to go. There's no thing to do. It's just life to live.
And now that we're talking about that, the average what are your thoughts on retirement? Because now I'm seeing that in the U.S., retirement age have moved from 57 to 61 years ago. Then it got to 66, which it really is now, from 60, that's in 1995. And now it seems like people want to work until they're 70.
Well, I retired long ago, and what I do is live. I retired from work, and now I am engaged in life.
Okay.
And every day I get up in life, and I make choices in life, and I support the productivity and the activities of people around me to produce and generate more and more life. I have a staff of people that work with me, and together I guide them in the things that they need to be productive. And I have a client base of people who look to me for information and advice, and I give them the information to be productive. So, but it's not work for me, it's just life.
Just life. Okay, it's just life. All right. Okay, let's take our final story for today. Okay, men who feel sheepish getting their Viagra prescriptions filled by their local pharmacists now have an alternative they may find much less difficult: buying their pills online. Everything is going to be online, including the Diana Wright Show live.
Well, what's funny is that Viagra and Cialis online has been online probably before anything else.
No, but the reason is this. This is the crux of the story I didn't get to yet. In a novel move that could dramatically alter the way drugs are sold for conditions patients may find embarrassing, like birth control, diet, and baldness medication. There's baldness medication for you. The caller said she wanted your hair back, so you need to go get some medication for your hair.
I'm good.
Okay. Pfizer, which makes the groundbreaking erectile dysfunction drug Viagra, will now offer it directly to those with a prescription on its Viagra.com website. So it's going to be directly from the company that makes it now. The company hopes the move will stiffen our, sales and subvert rampant online counterfeiting, because you do know that there's a whole lot of fake Viagra pills going around. In other words, this could have a dramatic impact not just on the activities in your bedroom, but on the contents of your spam folder as well. So, go ahead. I thought that was a fun way to end the program.
I want to share something, the news behind that news.
Okay.
The news behind the news is that Pfizer, the counterfeit Viagra just mean it wasn't made by Pfizer. But it's the same stuff that's in it. It's the same product, and it gives you the same results.
Okay.
And what's happening is that the online counterfeiting was rampant, and it's a great product at half the price. It's the same product. It's the same ingredients in it. It worked the same way. But Pfizer just finally say, okay, let's join them. We can't eat them. Catch them. So let's now join them online and make a big promotion around it about we're finally able to give it to you. The original stuff, but it's the same crap that gets your blood pumping so that your stuff will work. But why is your blood not pumping in the first place? Your body is congested, your circulation is poor. You need to get rid of the things that are blocking your body from optimum performance.
Right, and diet is the place to go for that, right? Okay. All right, Dax, your final thoughts before you go after the Viagra and Cialis story.
Well, I want to share that last night on the program regarding relationships. I really, really enjoyed it. I had, no script, no plan. You asked questions. I did my best to answer them. I hope beyond getting you to laugh.
Yeah, I really had fun. I just cracked up. I really did.
But most importantly, I would love to invite your listeners to participate in the conversation.
Yes.
Because, it's not about my way or your way. It's about us building a community and finding solutions. So until Wednesday, be well, live well, and stay
well. Okay.
you and your viewers have a wonderful weekend and stay healthy. And I thank you so much for the ability to share with you.
Okay, and please, when is Vanya coming back? I hope she's not coming back to crap my style.
No, man, she'll be here Sunday, and then she'll join us on the show. On
okay, all right. Okay. I'll take that.
All right.
All right. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, of course, that was Dax, and he joins me every Friday when he can, because sometimes, business calls and he can't join us. But when he joins us, we certainly have a lot of fun. And, of course, on Thursday evenings, we have introduced a new thing for men only, for men to speak. Of course, we got wonderful calls from a woman who said that she's not going to wait for you to come ask her. Don't be asking me if I want flowers. You need to get me the flowers, and I'm not waiting for 2 weeks for you to decide if you're going to buy me flowers. So I had a good time on the program, and you just heard Dax. He had a good time too. So we thank the callers who called, and we encourage you to call every Thursday. And of course, on Tuesday evenings, we have Dr. Melanie, and we talk mainly with her about a lot of women's issues and relationship issues, but from a more medical point of view, because she is indeed a general practitioner. Her name is Dr. Melanie Simpson, and we had a great week. We had Dorothy Leeds with us yesterday morning, the lady who encourages you to ask questions. So if you have a question for your boss, your friend, your spouse, don't be afraid to ask the questions. As she said, just romance the question and ask the question in the right way. All right, so there you go. We had, and of course, Wellness Wednesday with Dax. We always have that. So we welcome you from around the world every single day, and we thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a great week, and we are asking you to keep remembering to love yourself, and the I Love Me campaign continues. 2014 is just around the corner. As you look around, it will be Christmas, and you have to buy gifts. You don't have to, really. Yeah. But, a lot of people do, so we'll go with that. And also stay prayed up and be blessed. And don't forget to open up your boxes over the weekend as you look for your blessings that you're praying to God for and that you're asking Him to bless you with. And choose to accept the blessings, receive the blessings, be faithful about the blessings, and say thank you for the blessings. Just say thanks, run around, jump up, say thanks to God for what He has provided you. And don't be afraid to dream and pursue your goals. And of course, keep hope alive. Because if you have no hope, there's no life. Just live and be happy about where you are, who you are, love yourself. And as you love yourself, I want you to continue to help others. Do some good. And one of the good deeds that I'm asking you to do is come October 5, I want you to join us with the blank fundraising party that we're going to have through Save a Life Jamaica Foundation. It's October 5. It's only going to cost you $30. So I'd love for you, if you can't make it, if you can't come to the party, and I'm going to tell you what the blank is very soon. I'm going to make sure they give me the okay to spill the beans very soon, so you'll know what to get. You need a special outfit to come and all that good stuff. So October 5, we're going to give you an opportunity to do a good deed, save a life. It's only going to cost $30. If you put away $1, I'm sure you'll get there by October 5. And if you can't make the party, just go online and make a contribution to the foundation. And Novlet Gale is the head of the foundation, and we're trying to do good, not just for people in Jamaica, but for people around the world, right here in the U.S., whenever the need arises. So please do that. It's always good to do a good deed. It doesn't have to be contributing to some big old charity or whatever. Just a small foundation, just a little thing for the person next door or someone you meet or whatever. It is charitable, and it's good for you to do so. So thanks once again for joining me as I say au revoir, adios, and ciao. And I want to go back and read you these 3 things. Forgiveness means giving up all hope of a better past. Yeah, because the past is already gone. Yet tomorrow is not promised. Just deal with today. Egotism is the anesthetic that dulls the pain of stupidity. And the last and best one, a positive attitude may not solve all your problems, but it will annoy enough people to make it worth the effort. So love yourself. Tell them you love yourself. Wear my shirt and be proud that you're wearing the shirt loving yourself. Because you might just make them want what you have. Amen. Stay prayed up. Be blessed. Have a great weekend and make sure it's a safe one. We will see you Monday morning at 10:30 right here on the Diana Wright Show live. And thanks to you from around the world and in the United States for being part of the living of life, the loving of self, and we continue. So 3 little words. I love me.